If my lighting's a little off-putting, it's because I've literally only lived here 2 weeks and I'm still figuring all of that out. I really don't know what to give for an introduction to this video aside from I sold half of my belongings, took out a loan, moved across the country, quit my job, and now I'm a full-time YouTuber! Hi, if you're new here, I'm Zoe. I have a lot of health issues. That's not a personality trait, just relevant to the story. The first half of my life, I lived in Washington State. The second half of my life, I lived in Indiana. And I came back. Round of applause for getting out of Indiana. This has been long awaited and something that I have been working on for well over a year now, and I'm finally here. It honestly really messes my brain up. I lived here in Washington until I was 12, moved across the country to Indiana, realized Indiana was kind of a terrible place to live for a plethora of reasons we will get into in the video, trust, and then had to sell a ton of my stuff to get back here. Somehow I'm simultaneously in the most debt I've ever been in my entire life, but the happiest I've ever been in my entire life as well. We had a lot of great things happen to us in our time in Indiana. It definitely wasn't all bad. I vlogged this entire move. It's something that I honestly wish I would have done when I moved from Washington to Indiana. I wish I would have had more documented memories to bring with me, and the same goes for all my friends and loved ones and family in Indiana. Editing Zoe here to give a disclaimer before I even start out the gate, before people are in my comments dumbfounded that girl with septum piercing talk politics. I will be addressing local and state politics as big contributing reasons of why I need to move from the state of Indiana away. If you're too young to care about politics, it really is primarily in this first chapter and maybe trickle into the second chapter. You can skip it if you want, but I really do implore you guys to watch this all the way through. Everything political I say, I back up with sources throughout the video that I will be linking down in the description so you guys can do your own research. None of this is made up. This is my lived experience, and I don't have the luxury of being a person who doesn't do politics, as I am a disabled woman married to an immigrant. Our livelihoods were politicized before we even got the opportunity to decide we were people who don't do politics. Politics quite literally control every single little thing in this country. I will be damned if I don't address major things that impacted my life and the loved ones around me. So I know out the gate, I'm gonna get comments like septum piercing theory and being a liberal libtard or something. And I just want to say out the gate, like, yeah, I'm gonna talk politics. I'm also gonna back my stuff up with sources and link articles in the description. So if you're too young and you don't really care for politics yet, you can skip it if you'd like, but I really do implore you guys to do your own research, because this is stuff that's impacting me, my family, my loved ones, and major reasons contributing to this. It's a disclaimer I want to give before we jump into this. Now let's go. But before I continue on rambling, I think we just need to see it unfold real time. Roll the clips.
Chapter 1. Grievances.
So we're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Here I am with like the heating pad on my neck because for whatever reason, whenever the pressure changes with these really rough storms, I feel like crap. I feel like crap. And we get these storms once a week. And like it just causes whole body shutdown for me. The barometric atmospheric pressure changes so often that my connective tissue just like can't keep up. Like I need to leave the state. Just the weather is taking me out. Like that is one thing that I'm excited for Washington. As much as it's rainy there, the weather is just a lot more consistent and stable, whereas it was just sunny and 90 degrees not even 5 minutes ago.
after a full night of trailer shaking, late bad storms, and body aches because of it, I gotta wake up bright and early in the morning to go to work. So here's a little snippet of my almost hour-long commute to work. I am very fortunate. I only have to come into office once a week because Brandon does this commute every day. And you get stuck in what I like to call Amish traffic, and not many other states will understand what this means, but Indiana has Amish people and they drive buggies, not cars, and they go significantly slower than cars, and it is quite dangerous. Honestly, there is a lot of Amish accidents, but you get stuck behind the buggy. Finally get to work, clock in, climb a grueling set of stairs with my cane because I work in an older building that does not have an elevator. Finally get upstairs, go to wash my hands in the sink that is contaminated with high levels of arsenic and would make you sick if you tried to drink it. Not necessarily my workplace's fault, more so state of Indiana's fault.
Don't look at how crusty I look. I just got off of work. Since we're moving in T-minus like a month and a half, we're gonna go drive around some of our old favorite spots and reminisce about the good, bad, and ugly of living in Indiana. So let's go to where me and Brandon first met for the first time. We did go to high school together, but we didn't know each other back then. How me and Brandon first met is he was a photographer wanting to get more portrait shots for his portfolio because he specialized more in street photography and he didn't have many pictures of people. And I was an upcoming alternative model. That sounds really weird to say, but I did do modeling back in the day and I had a brand deal with a brand. So it kind of just lined up where he's like, I need more portrait photography, and I was like, I need portrait photos for a brand deal. Boom. We met at a studio right here. That's the studio me and Brandon first met at. I took a picture of that building. Insert the photo I took of that building. These alleyways, we used to walk down these alleyways. I have a picture of me down that alleyway. Inserting the picture here. From the day that we first met, me and Brandon spent so much time down here. At the height of COVID, when everything was locked down, we would come here in the middle of the night and take pictures. It was empty, dead empty. Now it's so much more busy than it used to be. I got an award as a kid there in high school for some kind of art thing. You guys, somewhere that's really important and integral to me and Brandon's relationship. First day me and Brandon met and we were doing all of those photo shoots, I fell and ate shit right there in that like parking lot area. Yeah, like right there. I fell and ate shit. It hurted. I busted my knee. The Elkhart River that is known for having sewage leaks into it.
Progress celebrated in Elkhart today as the city made history with its largest ever public works investment.
Whenever we would have a heavy rain, it would overwhelm our systems, and that sewage would flow into our river system. With this separation, the sewage would instead go to these 5, eventually 6 tanks, I believe, to be held until it's processed at our wastewater treatment plant.
The surge forces the raw, untreated sewage out into the rivers, and so we're really trying to reduce and eliminate that so that it all goes through the wastewater treatment plant, gets treated and disinfected before it enters the waterways.
This is Rocket Car Wash. Brandon got a really amazing photo here like 6 years ago, actually. I'll insert that.
This is the area that they really gentrified.
They turned an entire neighborhood into apartment complexes.
They're building more.
They are building more apartment
Shit.
complexes.
I didn't even know these were.
And none of the people here can afford the rent of those apartment complexes. So a lot of them are sitting empty right now. It's apartments that nobody in this town will be able to afford the rent for. It's gray and gloomy, that's for sure. Not to say that Washington isn't the same way. I think it's more of an America problem, making houses unaffordable and unattainable to replace them with cardboard box apartment buildings that the rent is almost the same price as a mortgage.
Well, if you've driven through the crossroads of America, you know our roads here in Indiana are always just fantastic, right? Well, if you're looking for proof, just take a look behind us here at some of the highlights.
Obviously, we're joking. You know, you drive. I don't know that we would necessarily place ourselves on the top of this list, but a new report from the U.S. News and World Report did place us as the #1 place for our roads. So the media company says the state takes the cake when it comes to road quality. Yes, that is correct. Indiana ranked as #1. We spoke to some drivers today who maybe like us here are a little bit cynical about this and definitely don't share the same opinion.
At a church. That's the church you went to as a little kid.
Yeah.
I wonder if this guy has got my package. Sir, my package. I will admit, Elkhart has some beautiful historical buildings that are gate kept by families who have had them running down their bloodline for so long. It's an old antique store that shut down because its roof started falling in. And then literally a block down is a different antique store that Brandon and I prefer called 820. I would run in there and check and see if they have anything new, but I was actually there like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, so I doubt they have anything new. But if you're ever here, 820 Antiques is very nice. Car dealership, car dealership, car dealership. There are 4 different car dealerships all across from each other. Car dealership is me and Brandon's old high school. I only went here my freshman year of high school. Brandon went here his full 4 years.
Right as soon as you walk in, there's
A fight first thing in the morning? Yeah. I do remember quite a lot of fights.
What else? Oh God, there's so much I probably shouldn't say. This is where they got Freaky in the rat lab.
Oh my god, I forgot about the teacher from our middle school getting arrested.
You want to show it now? Oh yeah, that's from West Side. We'll save that for West Side.
So that was the high school I did theater in. It is a very old high school, so it's got a lot of weird kooks and quirks like that high school, and this will sound batshit insane to anybody who's got a more modern high school. They had a rat lab where they would do scientific experiments on rats, the science clubs. I'm pretty sure it's still there. And what's even crazier about the fact that they would just do, I don't know, animal testing in our high school was that students would be caught having coitus in the rat lab while the rats are watching. Additionally, I did theater, and there's this really scary looking attic called the prop loft that you have to take like a hidden secret spiral staircase to up above the theater cathedral-y area. It's very spooky, very dusty, definitely probably has some asbestos. That high school is just very old and it's been built off of over the years, so it has a lot of quirky, like there's a roof entrance where some of the science classes would go up to. It's a very creepy old high school that's just been built off over the years. We're about to pull up to our old middle school. This is the middle school both me and Brandon went to. I only went to it for a year. Brandon went to it for 7th and 8th grade. Out here, elementary school is kindergarten through 6th grade, and middle school is 7th and 8th grade. I don't know why they break it up like that. It wasn't broken up like that in Washington, but this is the middle school Brandon and I went to. And craziest memory here, a science teacher got arrested for filming students in the gym locker rooms. What's your craziest memory in this middle school? You and Jordan reporting each other?
Oh yeah, on Sprigio.
Okay.
And getting called to the office.
So what was Sprigio?
Bullying, like online reporting system.
They had an online bullying reporting system for their middle school. So of course Brandon reported one of his best friends, Jordan, and then Jordan reported him, and then they both got sent to the office and had to explain that they were just joking.
Brendan had another friend, and pretty much Jordan reported that friend, and then I reported Brendan.
Of course you guys did.
They also got called to the office.
So you guys just reported a bunch of your friends to
But we didn't tell them. We never told them until like years later.
That's
So,
fucked up.
We just kind of forgot about it. So like years later, we were talking about it, and they were like, "You did that?" And we were just like, "Oh my fucking god!"
And something that they did here at Westside Middle School was they separated the boys and the girls. So every time, and this is so funny looking back at it because all of my friends are gay. So that was really no issue for them. But they would separate the boys and the girls in the morning. We weren't allowed to stand next to each other. And there was like a severe fear of teenage pregnancy at this middle school, even though I didn't know anybody. Nobody was pregnant. Nobody was pregnant. Totally unsatiated fear. We'd separate the boys and the girls, and it's just really funny because all of my friends are now a part, like openly a part of the LGBTQ. So it's like, you guys were separating the wrong people, my dear. I got a referral at that middle school because I hugged my ex-boyfriend, and they were very anti-PDA. This is like a very, I'm not gonna say they're a Christian school because there's definitely still a public school, but this school was run by very evangelical Christians, so all of their teachings really seeped into our school and how our school was ran. So they were very anti-PDA, very fearful of teenage pregnancy, and very like homophobic and stuff as well. I remember health classes were very abstinence only, and yeah, I hugged my ex-boyfriend and I got a referral for it. I was 13. Here's the sewer that leaks into the Elkhart River every time it rains. So yeah, this part of town smells like actual shit. This is the neighborhood that I lived in.
It's government housing.
This is government housing. It most certainly is. We were not the richest family, and we lived right outside the government housing. And I will say everybody in the government housing was especially super nice. You know, the people I had the most fucking issues with were the rich people. The rich people. Because the government housing was just full of families that were down and out, but some of the nicest people you'd ever meet.
No, I would prefer to live with.
Here's a little, I don't know if I'm getting it, but a playground. I used to hang out here since it was so close to my old house. When one of my cats ran away growing up, I remember searching all along this riverbank. Guys, that's my old house. That's the house I lived in 8th grade year to freshman year. And right there is where a guy tried to kidnap me on the side of the road. When I say I'm leaving Indiana, I'm leaving good memories, but I'm also leaving pretty fucking horrible memories. This was my old house, and that's the garage that hundreds of dollars worth of my stuff was stolen from. The first month or two we lived here, our garage was broken into, and thousands of dollars worth of our family belongings, tools, bikes were stolen. And then the people who stole them tried to sell them at a flea market nearby. And my dad was able to get his bike back, but only that. And thousands of dollars worth of our stuff were gone within the first 2 months of us living here. And then, like 2 months later, I had a bus route. Basically, my bus stop was like 3-4 blocks away from my house. It was quite a long walk considering the frigid winters. I remember one time I slipped. I ate shit in front of everybody at the bus stop, and I felt really embarrassed. But my bus stop ended up getting moved to right in front of my house because on that 3-4 block walk back to my house from the bus stop, a man tried to kidnap me, and I had to get the police involved. I had to get the principal involved, and I had to have my entire bus route change. I think this is probably the most Indiana thing you're gonna see. Outside of almost every single graveyard are signs like these, considering we have an 11-week ban, so they're not really happening here in Indiana. Indiana is very much so purity culture based. Just a lot of stuff like that, a lot of billboards that say anti-abortion things. And it shoots the women in Indiana in the foot, truly, because all of the OBGYNs of the state, I wouldn't say all, that's a generalization, but a lot of them left after Roe v. Wade was overturned. They will face legal discipline. So getting an OBGYN was like next to impossible for me out here. We're about to drive up to the hospital. They have an unsubstantiated rate of infant mortality. There are a lot of baby deaths at this hospital, and it's been that way for quite a few years. My dad had emergency open lung surgery here at this hospital because he had pneumonia that we can attribute to living on the river in that house over there that I just showed you guys. The sewage would overflow the river and flood into their bathroom, and it made my dad very, very, very sick. I wish we could have like sued the city for it or something, because yeah, my dad quite literally was sent to the hospital over poor water quality and poor air quality of Indiana.
30 minutes from Chicago, there's a city that has some of the dirtiest air in the nation. It's home to 3 steel mills, including the largest in the nation.
As the wind blows through her hometown of Gary, Beryl Fitzpatrick takes it in with a deep breath, one she no longer takes for granted.
Nobody wants to hear you have cancer.
With Beryl, you can hear her cancer as she speaks. She's been battling stage 3 tongue cancer.
It's almost certain that her place of residence, with the high pollution and other industrial output, contributed to her cancer.
7 major coal-powered steel production plants operate in the U.S. 3 are in this region. Gary already fails to meet federal air quality standards. The county has more toxic releases than 99% of all other counties across the country.
Indiana's taxpayer money never goes back to its people. It goes to the churches and it goes to apartment complexes that none of us can afford. And our governor, senator, whatever the fuck, Mike Braun, getting a helicopter pad installed in his backyard.
Indiana Governor Mike Braun is under some fire today after a public records request uncovered some of his travel expenses. Braun has taken 11 helicopter rides from the Indiana State Police in under 5 months, totaling nearly $24,000. The research found all of those trips were to and from his home in Jasper, where the state paid $1,745 to install a helipad earlier this year.
While he's actively fighting to get rid of free school lunches for lower income children. But I do think the most Christian thing you could probably do is feed starving children, and that's not something that they're gonna do here. Brandon and I live in a state where Governor Mike Braun believes that the Supreme Court was in the wrong for legalizing interracial marriage and that it should be up to state by state. Surrounded by towns where a certain group of men who still live in their mother's basement and dress up in their bed sheets leave flyers such as these on local businesses and homes just a couple weeks ago. My existence in the Midwest wasn't just spent in Indiana, though. I did bounce back and forth between Indiana and Michigan, being really close to the state line. I actually graduated from a Michigan high school, not an Indiana one. But my most recent existence has been in Indiana, so that's kind of why I'm more so reflecting on that. I will say Michigan's a little bit better than Indiana, but one of my favorite things about living in the Midwest is my proximity to Chicago. I lived about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 from Chicago, depending on traffic. Means 4 to 8 hours of your day is just gonna be travel alone to and from for a day trip. And it makes it all the more harder when your car dies the second you get to Chicago. So this footage is actually from my friend next driving me home because our minivan pooped out on us. It was an incredibly hot day, and it really threw our older minivan over the edge. It broke down in Illinois, so they had to drive us back in the middle of the night. But it's kind of funny that the one thing I'm reflecting and being like, yeah, that was good about Indiana wasn't actually Indiana itself. It was just its proximity to Chicago, Illinois. I love Chicago, although it is very overstimulating. Chicago is giving me that tiny little slice of Portland I needed so badly. Growing up in southern Washington, I would go to Portland for my nearest city. And there are parts of Chicago that genuinely remind me of Portland and vice versa, with Portland reminding me of Chicago. Chicago is cleaner and Chicago is nicer. I will just say from experience of spending a lot of time in both cities. But Portland's so cute and quirky and a bit smaller. It honestly feels a little bit more cozy than Chicago, where Chicago's very go, go, go. My biggest regret of living in the Midwest is not taking the time to go to New York. I've never been to New York, but I would love to go and visit someday. I think we're moving right in the nick of time, because tell me why I woke up to them tearing up the lot right next to it. This guy is sledgehammering. Do you see this? If it's not crackheads doing the Fenty fold in my neighborhood, literally 10 feet from my house, it's my trailer park place. Upping tenants' rent $300 and building new trailers every single day to try to get more college students in here. I'm excited to leave. I'm excited to move, yeah.
Chapter 2, Disassembly. This chapter, albeit looks easy on camera, is absolutely the most physically demanding part of moving across the country, is packing up all your belongings into boxes and then into your U-Haul shipping container. This was genuinely so exhausting. I don't have a crazy amount of footage of it, but I had to take down all of my wall hangings, all of my decorations, pack up all my dolls. You know, so much of my stuff I sold and got rid of in this process because I just genuinely didn't want to have to bring it across country with me. I have a family history of hoarding. I had a great grandma who was a hoarder. I saw her living conditions growing up, and it has always kind of just stayed in the back of my mind. So every couple years I really do try to do a good clean out. And this is incredibly privileged of me to say, but I do realize as a content creator, PR began to stack up. And I don't really want to do PR nearly as much as I used to anymore with my content, as I used to work with Monster High and Hot Topic. I found my doll collection was just overwhelming me with dolls that I might not be completely as connected to as I am other dolls, and same with my wardrobe of PR stuff. I had so many things that were just similar to other articles of clothing that I'm like, I really don't need two of these similar pieces. I chopped my wardrobe in half and gave it away to friends or donated it, along with selling more than half of my doll collection. It is very condensed now. There's a fine line between collecting as a consumer and hoarding, and that fine line is when you don't have enough space in your living environment to house your collection, and living in a trailer and then moving up to living in a small house. Like the house we're moving into is a little bit bigger than the trailer as a total, but not by much. I felt really overwhelmed by my collections to a point of which, like, this is no longer fun. Why am I feeling so overstimulated and overwhelmed? And being able to get rid of like half of my belongings sounds incredibly privileged, I'm aware, but it helped me clear out my mental space a little bit more for this move as well. And to be completely transparent with you guys, I am an open book. One of my regrets of this time period, and I can't even say it's an entire regret because it is one of the big financial reasons why we are here today, was having to sell our two hearses. We had a 1995 Cadillac Fleetwood hearse. It was our baby, it was our first hearse, it was our project car, and we adored it. And we had a second hearse, a 2007 Cadillac DeVille, much newer, nicer, sleeker, and we got married in it. So it was heartbreaking having to sell these two hearses, but the expenses of having to ship them across country, considering they were both kind of vintagey cars, I couldn't really rely on them to drive across country safely without having any issues, so we would have to ship them and get a rental car. That already put so many expenses on top of this move that we couldn't afford, that we ended up having to sell those two hearses in exchange for a minivan, still a used minivan, but it was a bit newer than the hearses, and that drove us across the country. Additionally, we had Brandon's green card process going on in the midst of having to save for this move, and his green card process was upwards of $12,000. Mind you, this is only a 2-year green card, and we still have to apply for a 10-year at the end of our 1.5 years of marriage, which will cost more money. So that is a very expensive process. As a white person who was born here, I was ignorant to and did not know much about until I was experiencing firsthand marrying the love of my life. Brandon's expensive and bougie and imported, what can I say? So that was a very high expense going on at the same time of us saving for this move. We did get lovely support of $3,000 to our GoFundMe from crowdfunding, and I love and appreciate how much support we got every single day, because every ounce of this is major reasons of what got us here. Selling our stuff, selling our hearses, getting Brandon's green card process finalized, and getting getting across the country. And we still had to take out a $10,000 loan because damn bitch, moving is expensive. But like I said at the beginning, I'm simultaneously in the most debt I've ever been in my entire life, but also the happiest I've ever been, so you can't win them all. We have been packing so much, and my cats have been a little stressed about it, but I need to think that like from their point of view, all they're seeing is all of their favorite stuff being stacked into a pile as high as the ceiling or put into bags. Like, I don't know. I do feel bad for my cats because they are kind of stressing about the move, and I know they're gonna stress the 4 days driving across the country, but I'm just trying to like hold it all together, you know? The place, my parents have the keys. I'm already paying rent on it even though I don't live there yet, which totally sucks. But I needed to claim this house when we saw it or we weren't gonna be able to find a cute house. We got the pod scheduled. Same with our hotels. I broke up our 32-hour drive into 4 days, and every fourth on the map, I picked the biggest city and scheduled a hotel there. So it's getting crunch time. It really is. We have 30 days left. 30 days. Woo! Everything's so empty now. Editing Zoe, I'm actually editing a different video, not the video that you're watching. But today marks T-minus 13 days away from the move. So now we are officially under the 2-week mark of when this cross-country move is going to be taking place. And it has me super analytical of what in my life here in the Midwest is no longer serving me. And one of those things being not feeling safe in my own home. I really don't feel safe here in this trailer park. It doesn't really foster an environment that feels safe to people who want to spend time outside, if that makes sense. I love to spend time outside, even if it's just doing my online work on a laptop outside. It's something that brings me so much peace and so much joy, and I haven't been able to enjoy that this honestly last year and a half of living here. I've lived here 3 years, and the first half of it, I didn't really have many problems with my neighbors, but this last year and a half has been ultimately miserable. Like on one side of our trailer, we have a couple in their 30s struggling with drug issues, and then on the other side, we have a couple in their 40s definitely struggling with some mental health and alcoholism issues. And needless to say, Brandon and I are subjected to constant, like, really awful arguing and shit on each side of our trailer, let alone the men in these relationships are either very short-tempered and frustrated and have a lot of road rage riding through the neighborhood, or I've gotten like really icky vibes from them. Like, as a woman, you need to trust your initiative, and I do get this feeling of every single time I go outside, I am just like inches away from being catcalled. Very yucky feeling to feel that I'm just trying to enjoy my time outside, and I feel subjected to being kind of sexualized when I'm not wanting that. I'm just existing. And the constant arguing on each side of our trailer and the blaring musics, the amount of complaints we've filed, let alone the people who own our trailer park have become very corrupt and have gone through multiple owners. They have raised our rent upwards of $300 very rapidly and very quickly. They fail to come through on their promises. This trailer is already dealing with some mold issues. It's dealt with electrical issues. It's dealt with foundational issues and water leaking issues, all of which we've come to them and nothing has been done with. It's made living here a living hell. Not feeling safe in my own home because my neighbors on each side are dealing with their own issues. Say they have crossed boundaries and we have filed complaints. At one point we've even called the cops. I'm just so excited to live in a place where I can feel safe in my own home. The people who manage this trailer park have made it a very uncomfortable relationship because they refuse to do anything to help the people who are renting these trailers. They try to push us to buy these trailers even though they can't do the bare minimum to keep them functioning, and they're constantly patrolling. It really makes you feel uncomfortable when every 10-15 minutes you see their community cars
patrolling the area, yet they still won't do anything for the people who live here. And I do remember specifically at one point maintenance showed up unannounced, and when I opened the door to answer the door, they just walked in, which I know is illegal, but those people don't work there anymore because they go through management so quickly. It's been rough, and it's taken away my sense of safety in my own home, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. That's my little rant. 13 days away from the move today, so less than 2 weeks today. I will be going across country. So let's keep this show on a road. Guys, we're 4 days away. I gotta pack up these over the next couple days, and then we're out of here forever. That's insane. Chapter 3, Reflection. Reflection is the shortest chapter because it sneaks up on you and happens all at once. Before you know it, this is the last time you're going to see fireflies for a very long time, considering they're not native to the Pacific Northwest. The first time I saw fireflies, I was 13 years old, and everyone out here calls them lightning bugs. It's also the last time you're going to pet your friendly trailer park stray. This is Grandma Cat. We have loved her for some time, but she has an ear tip from Meow Mission, so she has been deemed a colony cat that lives in a feral cat colony of this area, but she's very friendly herself, and rest assured before we left, we had set up good contact within the neighborhood to ensure by 2 different people that she's making sure she gets fed every day and has good shelter, especially when the weather gets kind of crazy as it does in the Midwest. At this point of reflecting, I'm also realizing I did not get any footage of the past winter, which was my last winter in the Midwest. And for those of you who don't know, we get crazy winters, we get feet of snow, we get negative double-digit wind temp. It is always very rough in the winter for people with chronic pain because it's so damn cold, my bones hurt. As much as the trailer and the trailer park had its own issues, seeing the deer so up close and personal because we were in a trailer along the outskirts of some woods was always so nice and so tranquil. This is the same backyard that we caught our cats in, our 3 beloved babies. As the days are ticking down, it's beginning to feel like my life is flashing before my eyes. Truly, this is the state where I met, dated, and married the love of my life. This trailer is where so many firsts were, and so many celebrations, and so many good memories were made, and I'm gonna miss my friends so much. It felt like I was finally establishing myself within multiple groups of friends and being surrounded by people who loved and supported me, and now I have to leave. You begin to kind of second guess every single thing in this reflection phase because you know the answer is to go somewhere that will serve you better, but you're gonna miss all of the things that this place brought you as well, especially your loved ones, your friends, and your family. The awesome people I've met in the Midwest are honestly like a dandelion that continues to thrive through concrete. You guys are not given the best living conditions yet still continue to thrive, and I will always have respect for that. We ended up having to get a 3rd one. This one's packed real chaotically because we didn't originally anticipate getting this 3rd one, but we had already packed these 2. You wouldn't think that for a trailer we would have that much stuff, but we really did. It's because we have vintage furniture, and like with vintage furniture, it doesn't break down very far. A lot of it is all one solid piece. So then we're left packing a lot of giant pieces. So we were very fortunate enough to get a 3rd pod literally the day before we're supposed to leave to finish up packing the rest of our shit. We seriously got rid of so much of our stuff though. Like, we did a good clear out. And also, look, I've been breaking my nails on everything. It's the worst feeling ever, but heavy boxes. I haven't been able to do my nails, so they're just breaking. It's all of our stuff. The guy is putting it on the truck now. We're leaving. My whole life was here for the last 3 years. It's insane. I never want to pack again, and I don't look forward to unpacking. Bye. Chapter 4, Departure. So, tears have been shed, of course. Like, This is a big part of our life that we're leaving, and my kitties are here and they're not very thrilled about it, but I know they'll get more accustomed to it the more we drive. On day one, we drove from Indiana through Illinois, Iowa, into Omaha, Nebraska. I forgot to get a lot of footage because it was stressful, but it all looked the same. We made it. It's day one. It's actually 3 o'clock in the morning, and we are at, where are we, Salem? We are at Omaha, Nebraska. And oh God, she just hit me in the face with her tail. I found this hotel online. It's a Hilton hotel. It's supposed to be accessible, but the parking is like 2 blocks away. I had to take 3 cats across 2 blocks just to get into this hotel room, right? Nightstand is just a piece of glass on top of a brown nightstand, but it's got a working lamp, right? Right? Let's go check out Brandon's. It's certainly, yeah, it doesn't work. And also, he has the weird glass on top of nightstand situation as well. For a room that only has 2 working lamps, and that lamp is cracked, there's no ceiling lights in this room, so that's really awesome. Everybody's used the litter box. All they're doing now is just running to every corner of the room and meowing at it, which you can probably hear. I would say if the entire 8-hour drive was a percentage, they only meowed for about 25% of it, and that's without their medication because nobody wanted to swallow their medication today, their trazodone. So we just kind of wung it. It's been a very, very rough first day. Got off on the wrong foot. We were supposed to leave at noon. We ended up leaving at 3 because the packing took way longer than anticipated. And we got here at the hotel at midnight, and now it's 3 in the morning. I desperately need to get some sleep before I lose my marbles, and Brandon needs to get some sleep because we have another 8-hour drive day ahead of us tomorrow. Regardless, I am very proud to say my cats are doing great. Like, oh, Lugosi's drinking his water. Good for him. Good for him. He ate, he used litter box, and he's our most anxious kitty. He's doing pretty good. He's in his luggage.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. No cat carrier needed. He's in the luggage. Okay, so we just woke up. We're in Omaha, Nebraska. I checked in last night. I was very sleep deprived and delirious. And today I can't say it's much better. Look at this girl. She's on top of this cupboard right now. This cupboard is taller than both me and Brandon. How did she get up here? Not quite sure. But is she living her life? Absolutely. She gets absolutely emboldened in her environment. She's like, heck yeah, I own the place. Time to parkour at 4 a.m. screaming at the top of my lungs. So there's this little black cat running all around the hotel room screaming at the top of her lungs. Scared the absolute shit out of her brothers. So her brothers are now hiding underneath the bed, scared because their sisters are crackhead. So I shoot up in the middle of the night because I hear this guttural, way deeper meow, like meow. And all of my cats have baby kitten voices still. I don't know, they never outgrew the little tiny that's what my cats sound like. So when I shot up, I was like, who did that? And it was kind of over on this side of the wall. I'm like, who is meowing like that? I've not heard that meow before. All of my cats are over here. So that meant that all of Salem's hooting and hollering, screaming and yelling, doing parkour at 4 in the morning woke the neighbor's cat and set the neighbor's cat off like an alarm. And that only scared her brothers more. Salem, woman of the hour, you can see her. Do you have any words for yourself, baby girl? Why are you an absolute menace to society? Getting ready now, we're gonna head out, and today's stop is Laramie, Wyoming. And I will say, Brandon and I are pretty disappointed with this Hilton in Omaha, Nebraska. It's kind of trashy. We just got to hotel number 2 in Laramie, Wyoming, and oh my god, is it an upgrade from that first hotel. We got our bed, but like, hello, jetted bathtub right next to my bed is actually kind of sick. It's lighting, lots of lamps, and you know what makes this even better? Microwave and mini fridge. Oh hell yeah. If you don't want a jetted bath, there's a whole bathroom, shower. This is so nice. This is so much better than the last hotel. Oh my god, thank god. My babies are in here. I'm about to let them out once I get the litter box installed, but hey, nice hotel. Today is day 3. We left Laramie, Wyoming for Twin Falls, Idaho. That's where we're on our way right now. Everything is looking very Western movie. The cats are doing a lot better than they were the first day for sure. They're just kind of learning to sleep off the drive. They actually did pretty good last night in the hotel as well. I'll check in at the hotel. third and final hotel in Twin Falls, Idaho. They're doing all right. They're doing all right. The layout for this room is bed like the last one. Laundry room, kind of cool. Bathroom. Nice, accessible bathtub. Very nice bathroom though. I like this bathroom. And then it has a whole other suite with a fold-out couch, like a hangout living room area. What the heck? These definitely make up for that first awful hotel. This is so nice. We just woke up. We're gonna go check out the waterfall. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Also, not trying to wake people up, but look at how pretty the interior decor of this hotel is. I am obsessed. I want these for my house. Look at this mirror. Exactly. It's so pretty. Wanted to go check it out last night, but the kitties were kind of stressed out as we got settled in, so we stayed in with them. Up there, like, second one, that's our room. But there's a trail over here because my parents stayed at this hotel when they were driving back to Washington, and they said the trail leads to this really awesome looking canyon. So let's go check it out. Here's the trail. We're gonna start walking it. The sun's just now coming up. It's very pretty out. It's still pretty dark. Oh, I'm so exhausted. My nose is all clogged. I've only eaten junk food for the last 3 days because that's all we could get on the road. So I'm constipated as shit. But somehow simultaneously, I'm having diarrhea. But today's the last day, guys. I haven't been able to check in nearly as many times as I wanted to because genuinely this trip has been so much more stressful than I originally thought it was gonna be. But regardless, we are on our last day. This was our last hotel, and tonight we will be home. Literally hundreds of thousands of these little sunflowers during the drive. They cover our country. The United States is covered in these things, and they're gorgeous. They're beautiful. There's a little creek. My knees and ankles fucking hurt. Creek, very pretty. Brandon's getting a picture. Whew. I've been taking baths at the hotels almost every single night because with my EDS and sitting in a car for hours at a time, my bones just want to slip out. It's very painful. So the baths have been helping a little bit. Holy shit. There's a waterfall down here. That looks like the road where the zombie pops up. Was it on 28 Days Later, the original one? Oh yeah. Oh, this is insane. It's a bridge. And the ravine. Oh my goodness. Let's take the big picture and then zoom in on individual things. But y'all make a mean potato. I just know it. I just know it. Potato City, Potato State. I know y'all make a mean potato. This was great and that was stunning. It's beautiful. We gotta make it back on the road. We still have a good 9 hours of driving today. And then we're home finally. We're home, we're home, we're home.
Again, will I take for granted living in such a beautiful state? Like, truly, as a little kid, I thought the rest of the country was just as beautiful as the Pacific Northwest, not realizing that I lived in a diamond in the rough, truly. There are different places of the United States that are beautiful in different ways, but nothing beats the mountain views and waterfalls and forests of Washington. We just drove past the trailer park I grew up in, like from birth until 11 years old, and I just cannot stop sobbing because I never thought I would be back here. I really thought, like, when we moved away when I was a teenager, preteen, that I would never see any of this again. So to be back and to see it all again is just like the fifth and final chapter, Arrival. We made it home, and we only really brought like our most fragile stuff with us in the minivan. So that's what all we've got out in the house until our pods get here and we can unpack them. Brandon is currently setting up all of our Govee bulbs with our Alexa so they can connect and talk to each other and eventually talk to our TV, which we don't have. But we do have this really cute little sign that my mom put up before we got here. If you're watching this, thank you, Mom. That was super cute. The pieces are falling into place. They really are. It's day 3, 4, I haven't kept track, but if you see I'm still in the same shirt, it's because I haven't bought a washer and dryer yet. So I'm making do with what I've got until I can go do laundry at my parents' house. Y'all will help me afford a washer and dryer, right? No, I'm kidding. I introduced myself to the neighbors and they're fucking lovely. Everybody in the neighborhood has been fucking lovely. I have been loving living in this home. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's still a single family home. Like, it isn't immaculate, but it has so many good things about it. I'm like incredibly privileged to be home. It feels right. I hope this isn't TMI, but my new neighbor is a nurse. And when I introduced myself to her and I talked a little bit about my condition, instead of having to do the usual like skirt around trying to explain what my condition is because somebody without a medical background wouldn't really know, I just had to do the whole I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, easy dislocations, gut motility, a bunch of stuff, eye stuff, whatever. I'm ambulatory, like sometimes you'll see me with a cane, sometimes you'll see me with a wheelchair. She just understood and even offered that if I ever needed a nurse as a patient advocate, she could be one. I'm excited because I know my quality of content is going to improve when I have the medical care I need. And I've gone a really long time without getting the medical care that I need for my condition. And to have somebody at the gate offer to be my patient advocate when I'm just like, hi, I'm new here, and her at the gate just be like, I'll help you. And her believe me, and I didn't have to fight for it. Fuck. Dude, what is wrong with you? He's so funny. He got arms. Gablam, 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 gablam. One of our first days home, we made a middle of the night run to Winco because we realized it was our cat's birthday, so we needed a salmon fillet. Baby salmon, happy birthday! We're making them special salmon food because they are turning the big 3. He's ready. He's ready. He's older. And he is eating a giant thing of dill, which is cat safe. Zayna? Yeah? Baby? Zayna? Zoe? Hi.
It's your birthday?
It's your birthday. We gotta sing your birthday song before you can eat it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Salem Bones and Lugosi. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, babies. We're 3. Congratulations.
Blow.
Blow out the candles. Blow, blow, blow. And now I'm here I've lived here for about 2 weeks. We're still learning the area and the amenities. This entire move, we hit every single road bump imaginable, yet somehow I am still all the more grateful for how it turned out. I'm so grateful my cats acclimated well to the hotels. Nobody had accidents. Everybody did really well. I'm so grateful that we were able to secure such an adorable house in such a great area. Rent is very high, so watch my YouTube videos, like and subscribe so I can get paid, please. Not begging for money on the internet, just saying I gotta keep this roof over my head. Just reflecting on this whole thing, my entire life has changed. And I really hope for the better. I do think it is for the better. I've already noticed an improvement in my health. Weirdly enough, ever since I had moved to the Midwest, every single morning, if I woke up before a certain time, I woke up horrendously nauseous. But if I woke up after, say, like 10 in the afternoon, I woke up fine. And now I know that that's really common. Like POTS and Ehlers-Danlos related stuff, it's really common to feel super sick at the very early hours of the morning, and then it get better later in the day. For me, I was waking up at like 10 whenever I could in Indiana, and my body thinks I'm still doing that, but it's actually 7 here. I have not been nearly as nauseous waking up here. I really hope that's like something that stays and I don't just get accustomed to and start getting sick early in these hours, but so far so good. I have not been sick to my stomach in the mornings nearly as much as I have been in Indiana. I'm already noticing a difference in the air quality. I can breathe so much better here. To be so real with you guys, this move has made me incredibly tired because every single day I've been waking up incredibly early, unpacking to the best of my ability. And with my chronic conditions, my unpacking looks a lot more like unpack a box, lay on the floor, unpack a box, lay on the floor, unpack a box, lay on the floor. And that's what I've been doing for 2 weeks. So beyond tired. The unpacking has really kicked my butt these last 2 weeks and I am absolutely exhausted. Brandon and I were talking about it in the car the other day, how in Indiana, in that trailer park, and it just not being a very good trailer park, you would come home from work exhausted, thinking your home is where you could relax and rest and regain some of that like HP points in a video game. Like you can regain HP when you're home, and living in that trailer felt like it was taking HP. I came home from work, Brandon came home from work, we were exhausted, and then we couldn't even fully like let our nervous systems relax in our house, and therefore I could not focus. I couldn't focus on my content. It just made me feel like crap 24/7. And here I feel like I'm able to relax finally. It's really good, but it's at the sacrifice of having to leave all my friends and my other half of my family. This move is definitely something that I'm happy I could have taken you guys along with me for it and shown you some of the beautiful things of the United States, because there is, granted, I'm not the happiest with our country 24/7, especially recently. There is a lot of beautiful geography and nature in the United States, I will say it. And that's why we need to protect our local wildlife and our national parks and state parks and not defund them. I feel like I've ranted enough this video, but there is a lot of beautiful places in the United States and I'm happy to share it with you guys. But emotionally, I think I'm gonna process this move at a later point. And as much as this video is for me to show you guys the process, it is also for me to document it and hold it near and dear to my heart as a really big change of my life that I'm gonna wanna look back at. This video is more for me than it is for you guys, and that's not to be mean. I just wanted to document such a big change in my life, and I'm happy to take you guys along with me. And introspective, I've been negative, I've been positive, I've been grateful more than anything. I'm really happy to be here and incredibly exhausted. This move was very draining. Probably never gonna do a cross-country move ever again. I'm content with where I'm at, and I don't think my body and my pain can handle another cross-country move. 2 times in my life is more than enough. I'm ready to settle down. I'm just entirely grateful. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for the way my hard work paid off and the world set in motion the opportunity for me to come back, especially at a time like this in my life where I feel like there was no upwards mobility for me in Indiana. Health-wise, financially, career-wise, I felt like an animal with zoochosis. And moving to an area that is just like more population but more stuff going on, and the community is well taken care of. There are just so many net positives that the expense of living out here, I'm willing to bite the expense if it means my quality of life and quality of medical care and everything is really that much more worth it. It's been my move, sponsored by nobody. I did reach out to U-Haul and DJI because I wanted U-Haul to sponsor me, and they did not want to sponsor me. So I am a little reluctant to like give them any kind of promo, but they did not sponsor me. That was out of my own pocket. But if they would want to refund a little bit of my check, I can talk about how good my experience was, I guess. Although my experience wasn't the greatest, because I'm pretty sure they broke my sprinkler system. DJI didn't want to sponsor me either. Want their Osmo Pocket 3 so bad. Turns out I can't just harass brands online until they want to sponsor me for a video. Ideally, at the beginning of this, I was gonna script this video and be sponsored with a camera company to shoot like really pretty street photography style while going across the country. I was really hoping some kind of collaboration would come together, but it kind of just fell through last minute. And a little part of me is glad because this move went so unaccording to plan, truly. Like, I feel like if I was held to take content for sponsorship for this video, I might have been more stressed than I needed to be when I was already so stressed because things weren't going according to plan. So as much as I'm a little bummed that we didn't have a sponsorship this time around because that would have helped pay the bills, but as much as that, like, oh well, womp womp, you know, like, I think I would have been too stressed anyways, so it kind of worked out that I didn't have a sponsorship for this video because I don't think this video is sponsorship worthy. I'm grateful for everything, especially you guys. I wouldn't be able to do this little YouTuber thing if it weren't for you guys watching, so of course thank you guys. And this is only part 1. There is gonna be a part 2 of this video where I unpack and make this new house look and feel way more me and Brandon's aesthetic. It's gonna be similar to one of my last videos, which was the trailer tour, just this house. A girl needed to be back in the Pacific Northwest. You cannot take the hipster out of Portland and expect her not to come crawling back. Sorry, that was like really aggressive, but I do live nearby Portland. For context, I am not in Oregon, but I'm close enough to it. Anyways, I'm so beyond tired that nothing I'm saying is making sense anymore, so I'm going to bed. Good night, guys.